Hello everyone, and welcome to our preview of Freedom 5, a Sentinel Comics Board Game. Freedom 5, a Sentinel Comics Board Game, is designed by Richard Launius, Adam Sadler, and Brady Sadler. And it's published by Arcane Wonders and Greater Than Games. Freedom 5 is a cooperative game for 1 to 5 players set in the Sentinel Comics universe. Freedom 5 can be played for its standalone, free play challenges or through a series of campaign scenario comics with new threats and rewards for your group to discover each session. Please note that this is a prototype and art and rules are not final and are subject to change. Additionally, we only have the components for Scenario Comic number 1, but don't worry, we won't be showing any campaign play spoilers or materials. Megalopolis was once a booming, bustling, thriving city, but recently it's become the target of villains, their henchmen, and wicked masterminds. Do you have what it takes to protect the city from an onslaught of villains?
To play a game of Freedom 5, players begin with some basic setup and then complete some additional setup specific to the chosen scenario. Unfold the Megalopolis map board and add one henchman that matches the location's color to each location. The remaining henchmen form a general supply grouped by color. Place the HQ board beneath the map board and then place the Anarchy tokens, the Bystander tokens, and the Mastermind tokens on their designated spaces. Next, shuffle the Scheme cards, all Anarchy cards, the Bystander cards, the Special cards, and the Justice cards, placing each deck on the appropriate spaces. Then each player selects a hero and takes the following matching components: one hero board, one character flip card, one hero mini, a deck of 24 ability cards unique to the chosen hero, 3 personal task cards, 5 action tokens, and any additional material listed on their hero board. Your character flip card is placed private life side up in the center of your hero board, and your hero mini begins on the Megalopolis map on one of the home base locations listed on your hero board. Finally, each hero draws a hand of 4 ability cards. Since this is a fully cooperative game, this hand of cards may be displayed face up for all players to see. The different colored dice, the hero damage tokens, and the villain damage tokens form a general supply nearby. Additional tokens and components are set aside until specifically instructed to use them. You must now perform some scenario-specific setup. For Scenario Comic 1, Bad Moon Falling, take the Baron Blade Mastermind card and place it next to the board with its Vengeful Inventor side face up, and place the Mobile Defense Platform card next to it. Then place the Mobile Defense Platform token on RevoCorp HQ, location number 23, with Baron Blade's mini on top of it. 2 yellow henchmen and 1 Mastermind token are also placed at this location. Additionally, 1 Mastermind token is placed at the Old Seaport Museum, location number 30. Now players choose their scenario's difficulty level by deciding how many Justice Rules the Night cards will be added to the scheme deck. For our purposes, 4 cards are added for a normal difficulty. The Anarchy token should already be on the HQ board, but return all yellow tokens to the box, as they aren't needed in this scenario. Then it's time to set up the villains we'll be battling. Take the Fright Train, Glamour, and Ambuscade villain cards and place them face up near the Masterminds card. Take each villain's standee and place them on their starting locations, along with 2 henchmen and 1 Anarchy token matching the villain's color. A Bystander token is added to location number 21 and location number 28. Next, draw 2 scheme cards and resolve each by placing the tokens as identified in all 3 steps, but don't move any villains. Then shuffle these 2 cards, along with the Justice Rules the Night cards, into the scheme deck. Place the Mastermind tracker pawn on space 2 and add plot tokens to space 5 and 8 of the track. Finally, each hero starts with 1 special card slotted in the leftmost space of their hero board. You are now ready to play the first scenario in Freedom 5.
Freedom 5 is played over the course of several rounds, with each player taking 1 turn per round. A player turn consists of up to 3 phases: a private life phase, a hero phase, and a villain phase.
To begin their turn, a player, who we'll call the active hero, may flip their character card to its private life side and perform any actions they want that show the private life action symbol, like this, as well as the special power on their character card. At any point during their turn, a player may quick change into their hero costume and advance to the hero phase. This allows them to use any actions that show the heroic action symbol, which looks like this, ability cards, and the special power on this side of their character card. Some actions also have the dual action symbol, which lets players perform the action in either the private life or the hero phase.
Note that a player is not required to perform both phases on their turn. The active hero can spend their entire turn in the private life phase if they want.
Each hero board lists actions a player may take on their turn, along with the action symbol that shows in what phase the action can be performed. In general, each hero has similar actions, but some may be tailored to that specific hero, and some heroes might have actions only they can perform. Some actions, ability cards, and character special powers don't always require an action to use. If there is no action symbol, this is considered a free action. To use an action with an action symbol, flip over one of your available action tokens and place it on the exhausted actions area of your hero board. This token remains exhausted for the rest of the turn unless an effect or ability refreshes it. At the end of your turn, all exhausted action tokens are refreshed and will be available to use on your next turn. The actions the active hero can take on their turn include Move. Move your hero along the connecting paths a number of spaces as listed on your hero board. Unique character action. Use your hero's unique ability. Justice. Each hero will have a number of face-up justice cards on their hero board that represent the various tasks heroes are committed to in Megalopolis. These cards clearly outline what must be done in order to succeed and gain the rewards listed, but there are also consequences for failure. Personal task. Even heroes have responsibilities to attend to in their private life, and that's what the personal task cards represent. As an action, the active hero may resolve their personal task at the required location, and you want to make sure to get these tasks completed because unfulfilled personal tasks block players from gaining additional justice and special cards. Ability. Play an ability from your hand that requires an action, resolve the effect, and discard the card. Note, the dice are ignored on a card when using it for its ability action. Attack. In Freedom 5, there are 3 types of enemies heroes will be attacking: henchmen, villains, and masterminds. But no matter the enemy, the hero must be on the same location to perform an attack action. To attack henchmen, roll 1 die for each henchman present. The color of the henchman represents the hero's attribute that's being tested: green, mind; body, red; spirit, blue; and tech, yellow. To successfully attack and remove a henchman from a location, the rolled die value must be greater than or equal to the hero's skill level for that attribute, as listed on their hero board. To attack a villain or mastermind, your hero must be on the same location as them. You may then attempt to attack the enemy by discarding ability cards from your hand matching the enemy's color. Roll the number of dice as shown on the discarded cards and test the attribute matching the enemy's color, similar to how an attack on henchmen is resolved. Remember, the abilities on the discarded cards are not resolved, only the number of dice is important. Other heroes in the same location as the attack and with their character card on the hero side may join in and team up with the active hero by discarding ability cards and rolling dice, testing their own attributes as listed on their hero board. For each success, that is for each roll equal to or higher than the value shown on the hero board for the attribute being tested, 1 damage is dealt. If there are henchmen on the villain cards, damage is dealt to them first at a 1-to-1 ratio before the villain is hit. Add damage tokens to the enemy representing the damage dealt to them. If the total damage, from this attack and previous ones, meets or exceeds the enemy's durability, they are defeated. Whether they are defeated or not, they will counterstrike all attacking heroes. Each villain and mastermind is different, so some may also have special abilities or powers that activate when attacked. Everything you need to know about the villains and mastermind in your scenario will be listed on the card and also in the scenario comic. Heal. There are many ways heroes can suffer damage, so at the required location, they may heal and remove damage tokens from their hero, possibly gaining additional benefits for doing so. Finally, the last action available to heroes is token interaction. There are 3 types of tokens that can be added to locations: mastermind, bystander, and anarchy, and each is resolved differently. What remains consistent for them all is that the presence of henchmen on a location prevents token interaction. To interact with an anarchy token, attempt to resolve it by drawing the topmost anarchy card that matches the color of the token and follow the instructions on the card. This often involves rolling dice and testing a hero's attributes. To interact with a bystander token on your hero's location, there must also be no anarchy tokens present. Then discard the bystander token, draw one bystander card, and follow the instructions on it. Additionally, when a hero has acquired cards with a total of 2 bystander icons, they discard them to gain 1 special card as a free action. To attempt to resolve a mastermind event on a location with a mastermind token, first flip the token and reveal its hidden number. Then read and follow the instructions on the matching mastermind event in the current chapter of the scenario comic.
The active hero continues to perform actions in the private life or hero phase until they choose to end their turn, or must end their turn because they're out of available action tokens, for example. They then enter the villain phase of their turn. In this phase, the baddies attack and the mastermind progresses with their cunning scheme. There are 2 steps to the villain phase. First, the henchman attack. The active hero suffers 1 damage for each henchman at their location. However, this only happens if the active hero's character card is on the hero side. If they don't end in the private life phase, they don't get smacked. Next, the chapter effect is resolved by following the instructions listed in the current chapter of the scenario comic.
In Scenario Comic Number 1, Chapter 1, the active hero would draw 2 ability cards, and then 1 scheme card is drawn and resolved in its entirety.
Scheme cards are bad news for the heroes because more henchmen get added to the locations, villains move, inflict damage, and drop anarchy tokens, and the mastermind demonstrates just how sinister they can be.
A location can handle up to 3 henchmen, regardless of their color. So if more henchmen were to be added to a location that has 3, the location is overrun. The henchmen that cause the location to be overrun are placed on their matching villain or mastermind card, and then 1 henchman matching the color that triggered the overrunning is placed in each area adjacent to the location. If adding henchmen to an adjacent area would cause it to overrun, add the henchmen to their matching villain or mastermind instead of creating another overrun.
If players allow henchmen to accumulate on villain or mastermind cards and the locations on the board, this will not only increase the chances they suffer damage in the villain phase and impede them from interacting with tokens, but it will also cascade into worse things happening to the heroes, like more anarchy tokens are added to the board, or the mastermind's plans advance at a faster rate. At the end of the villain phase, play passes to the next player who becomes the active hero. Each scenario has a number of chapters that players must progress through to be victorious. Each chapter has a set of conditions that must be met in order to advance the story. When such conditions are met, play pauses and the story advances immediately by turning the page and reading through the new villain phase effects and special rules. Players continue to take turns and progress through the scenario's chapters until the victory or defeat conditions listed in the scenario comic are met. Victory conditions include defeating the mastermind or achieving the special victory conditions for the scenario. Defeat conditions include a mastermind effect that causes players to lose, or if the Freedom Tower map location has 2 anarchy cards on it at the start of a villain phase. When victory or defeat occurs, read the appropriate section on the last page of the scenario comic to resolve your scenario story. And if you're playing the campaign mode of Freedom 5, this could include opening reward packs. Of course, these campaign elements are ignored in free play. But for now, I'm Mandi Hutchinson.
And I'm Ashley Gariepy.
And we're off to protect our city.